7% up to 8.1%, and Social Security, including retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, SSI, VA, and RRB. I have all the details and what these numbers represent right here in the video, so let's get right into it. All right, yet again, another new report was just released, specifically focused on the low-income and fixed-income beneficiaries, illustrating just how much these millions upon millions of Americans are falling behind each and every month and how much more money these beneficiaries need on an ongoing monthly basis. Well, that's what I want to talk about here in this video, because all of these numbers directly relate to millions of low-income beneficiaries and all the benefits I mentioned just a few seconds ago. Therefore, let's get into it and talk about all the details out of this report. However, really fast before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe by hitting the button right down below the video, as it's totally free to do so, and because I am your one and only daily advocate, I'm here for you right by your side each and every day, watching all this information hitting the wire, doing the research and breaking it all down into these short videos so you can stay updated with what's actually going on as things continue to change very, very rapidly right now. We're getting new announcements, new reports, announcements out of the administration, as well as lawmakers, bills, packages, proposals, amendments, all kinds of things hitting the wire, and I'm bringing it to you in these short videos every single day. A lot of things are changing, so again, please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet so you don't miss any videos going forward. And also remember, I am here for you in any way that I possibly can be. That's my dedication, that's my commitment, and as always, that's my promise to you and everybody right here in the community. All right, thanks again. Let's get into it and talk about all the details of this report, what these percentages mean, and I've even got more numbers for you that I want to share in this video. All right, so let's talk about all the details, as there was a lot covered in this report. First off, let's think back to 2022 for just a second. Now, obviously, we are in 2023 right now, but let's quickly think back, because we want to talk about what was going on in 2022, and I want to discuss the details of this report because it's all very clear as far as what was going on, and then again, what they're anticipating this year in 2023 as well. This is very important stuff. All right, so first off, remember last year, how much was your raise in 2022? Well, obviously you probably remember it was 5.9% for fixed income beneficiaries. However, this report goes on to show that inflation last year on an annualized basis through the course of the entire year, now obviously this is averaged out across the entire course, the duration of 2022, was between 7% and 8.1%. But remember, your raise was 5.9%. So therefore, even on the low end of the scale, the raise was about 1.1% lower than what it should have been, and it was up to about 2.2% lower than what it really should have been based on real inflation last year. So there you go, another example of how the cost of living adjustment does not keep up with what actual inflation is doing, right? Now remember, we've talked about this before, but really, really fast here. The cost of living adjustment that is applied to benefits is based on inflation in the third quarter of the year, and then that raise goes into effect the following year. So July, August, and September, those months are the ones that determine the COLA for the following year. Well, obviously, it's going to be delayed. I mean, seriously, you got to be kidding me, right? It's delayed by a full quarter at least. Well, that's exactly what we saw last year in 2022. So it was delayed by a lot there. Therefore, the raise because of the COLA was behind by anywhere between about 1.1% and about 2.2%. That's a lot, right? That translates into a lot of dollars in your account every single month that you didn't get, right? That's really sad and unfortunate. Now, some other studies came out, and I want to share these details with you as well, because this yet again shows just how much seniors and fixed income beneficiaries simply didn't have the money and relied on other sources. So in 2022, the studies went on to show 33% of seniors relied on either food banks or on food assistance programs like SNAP, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, in 2022, whereas in 2021, 20% of people actually applied for these benefits. So you could see just in that 1 year difference of time, right? There was an increase by 13% more people that were applying for these benefits versus the year prior. It's a lot of people. When we're talking about millions upon millions of people and the senior population, It's a lot of people, right? A 13% increase is huge when it comes down to it. So that just simply means that many more people did not have enough food and therefore had to turn to programs like SNAP and or food pantries, food banks, just to get some food on the table. Super sad situation, right? Now next, the report also goes on to show that last year in 2022, 17% of low-income households relied on utility assistance programs to pay for their utilities. Meanwhile, the year prior in 2021, 10% of seniors and low-income individuals applied for these programs, right? So relied on these programs to help them with their utilities. So therefore, in a 1 year difference or in a 1 year period of time, another 7% more people applied for these programs to help with utilities. Again, is it because we just want a bunch of, help with all this stuff? No, it's because simply a couple different reasons are going on here. Number one is that obviously benefits are not keeping up with the real cost of living, and we know that inflation has been jacking up the prices on food a ton lately. We know that in 2022, food prices have gone up a ton, and we know that so far in this year, 2023, food prices are already off to a pretty big start here, as they are already going up a lot this year so far as well, right? So same situation this year again. So we can clearly see across the low-income and fixed-income beneficiary households, we had a huge increase on a year-over-year basis from people going into food banks, food pantries, and getting assistance with utilities just between those two. How about all the other assistance that people are getting, right? That wasn't accounted for in these reports, right? So yeah, this kind of clearly shows what's really going on here. Now next, obviously 2023 as of right now is not over yet, right? We're still pretty early in the year as of right now as I record this video. However, the reports are now coming in and they're suggesting that this year in 2023, an average inflation this year for 2020 is projected to be between 4.3% and 5.7%. That's still very high, okay? Remember, the Federal Reserve tries to keep inflation between about 2 to 2.5%. So even a 4.3% rating on inflation would be about double what it would actually generally be based on the Federal Reserve, right? So that's very high. And a 5.7% reading for this year would be pretty much triple what it's supposed to be. So again, we're looking at another very high inflationary time. However, this is on an averaged, kind of smoothed out basis across the entire year in 2023. However, they're projecting by the end of this year that inflation will be down at 3%. I don't know about that. We'll see about that. We are still a very long time out from that, but we'll see on that to see if it's actually going to happen, okay? But that's what they're projecting as of right now, by the end of this year, sitting at 3% with inflation. Yeah, we'll see about that one, okay? But anyway, these are what the details are showing right here, and you can clearly see from the statistics that I've been showing in this, that I've been just talking about in this video here, you can clearly see that the low income and fixed income are relying on these other, benefit programs like SNAP benefits, food stamps, utility assistance programs, all kinds of different things that are going on right now just to help make ends meet, because we know the benefit payments that you're getting are simply not enough, right? We've talked about that so many times in previous videos with all of the other reports out there, but this is what they're talking about right now. And it looks like, yet again, we're in for another high inflationary time. So here's another thing that they didn't necessarily talk about in this report, but I want to make this very clear, and we've discussed this before, which is food prices, shelter prices, rent prices. What are they doing? Are they going up or are they going down? Well, if you've been watching the videos here on the channel for any length of time now, you know the prices on all of these items that I just listed are still going up, right? So even though the headline inflation number may be down, if we really dig into these reports and we look into them, we can clearly see that food prices are still up about 12% year over year, and they're still increasing at a pace of about 0.3% up to about 0.7% on a month-over-month basis, right? That's a lot. Shelter prices are still rapidly rising. So this is setting up for an equation that simply doesn't make sense. It just doesn't work, right? But this is what they're reporting to us, and these are the details that are coming out right now. So I like to keep you posted on these reports every so often as I find these, just to give you a perspective on what is really going on and what these reports are now showing, because this is what's really happening, and this is impacting literally everybody. It's not just isolated to one state. It's not isolated to one city. It's not like this is only happening in Los Angeles. This is only happening in New York. This is only happening in Austin, Texas. Nope. This is happening across the entire country, right? This is everywhere. So this is unfortunate, and this is really sad. And realistically, in some locations, it's, inflation obviously is much higher. It's lower in some places, and in some rural parts of the country where it might be a little more difficult to get food supplies too. Sometimes those prices can be even higher because of transportation costs, fuel costs, handling costs, all things like that. Once again, but are translated into the final price that you see on your store shelves. Again, super messed up stuff right now, right? A lot of things that have really changed in a big, big way here over the last couple of years. And it's really sad because a lot of this is coming back onto the low income and fixed income. Let me ask you really quick, if anybody's still watching right now, I'd be really curious to know, what was it like back before, say, 2020? So like 2019 and beyond, right? Were things nearly this difficult? I'm going to go ahead and guess no. I think we can all probably agree with this, right? The way that things were prior to 2020 and before all of this stuff came in, it wasn't this bad. I mean, don't get me wrong. Benefits were still very low, but food prices were not nearly as high as they are. Rent prices, not nearly as high as they are. Shelter prices, healthcare costs, all kinds of stuff like this were nowhere near what they are today, right? So anyway, I just want to know your perspective on that. Maybe I'm completely missing the point here, but I think we can all probably agree. Things have changed in a really big way over the last, call it 3 years or so, since 2020 and this whole thing started. It hasn't necessarily turned out to be a good thing for the low income. In fact, a lot of things have changed, but at the end of the day, a lot of this is coming back onto the low income and fixed income. Either way, please remember, I'm here for you in any way that I possibly can be. I like to keep you updated with everything that's going on, and of course, all these reports that I'm finding out there, because a lot of things that are happening, and we got to continue to stay tuned with these reports, because realistically, we need to bring these to the light, and we need to let everybody know what is actually going on, because it's not okay. I don't know how else to say it. This is not okay what's going on right now. Either way, I'm here for you. Please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. I'll keep you posted as I do get more details on anything going on right now, including all the bills, packages, proposals, amendments, raises to benefits, increases to anything going on, as well as any additional money, benefits, programs, anything else like that. Of course, I want to bring it to your attention. So please subscribe down below if you haven't done so. Share the video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out any of the other thousands upon thousands of videos here on the channel. Until next time, enjoy, have a good one, and I'll catch you again later in the next video.